So it looks like there's a real possibility that Omega is returning to Doctor Who, though under the writing of rampant tiny donk, Russell T Davies. And to say I'm not overjoyed would be an understatement. The thought of one of the franchise's most significant villains being handled by a showrunner more interested in surface-level spectacle than deep lore doesn't exactly fill me with hope. But while everyone else is busy speculating on how badly this will turn out, I want to continue looking at monsters and villains that have been criminally underutilized. And honestly, there are far more obvious choices than Omega, villains that could return in far more compelling ways. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we're full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Damon, and today we're digging into the archives once again to unearth another forgotten Doctor Who menace, one that deserves to make a triumphant and terrifying return. Now, when it comes to this type of monster, there are a few obvious choices. Doctor Who is full of one-and-done creatures, many of which came from the Jon Pertwee era, an era that had some of the most bizarre and creative alien threats the show has ever seen. I do want to talk about some of them in time, but I'm going to start with probably the best, a monster that could return in an intriguing way and whose reappearance could offer a truly unsettling episode. I'm talking about Axos, the living, shifting, parasitic entity from the Claws of Axos. This wasn't just a monster, it was a composite creature, a scavenger organism capable of manipulating its form to deceive and ensnare. It arrived on Earth supposedly in need of fuel, presenting itself as a gift, a benevolent species offering advanced technology in exchange for resources, but in reality its true nature was far more horrifying. Axos's goal wasn't just to drain energy from Earth, it wanted the secret of time travel so that it could feed endlessly across all of space and time. Now, to be fair, Axos has made a return in expanded media, but the thing with expanded media is that not everyone considers it canon. Some fans embrace it, while others either ignore it entirely or find it too expensive and overwhelming to keep up with. For the sake of this discussion, I'm disregarding whatever's been done with Axos in books, audio dramas, or comics. We're focusing on the real return, the kind that matters, the kind that would put this terrifying creature back in the spotlight where it belongs. And the best part, Doctor Who already has the perfect setup for Axos to make a comeback. At the end of the Claws of Axos, the Doctor and the Master managed to trap Axos in a chronic hysteresis, essentially a never-ending time loop. It was the perfect prison, an eternal loop that should have kept Axos contained forever. But here's the thing, we know the Doctor's TARDIS has never exactly been the most stable machine in the universe. It has been damaged, reconfigured, and completely rebuilt multiple times across the show's history. And considering how often time-related catastrophes seem to occur around the Doctor, what's stopping the breakdown of the loop from being one of them? Imagine this. The TARDIS encounters an unexpected anomaly, one that the Doctor doesn't initially recognize as anything unusual. Perhaps it starts as a minor glitch, a strange flickering in the time vortex, a brief moment where time seems to hiccup. Then as the Doctor investigates further, the signs become more ominous. The TARDIS's systems begin to behave erratically, coordinates shift on their own, and ghostly echoes of past events seep into the present. And then, before the Doctor realizes what's happening, the loop collapses. The moment the hysteresis breaks down, Axos is free. After being trapped in the same moment for untold ages, it's hungry, it's angry, and it's evolved. Now think about what makes Axos such a terrifying concept. It isn't just some random alien that wants to take over the world, it's a living organism that manipulates perception itself. It deceives, it seduces, and it traps its prey in a web of illusions. In its original appearance, Axos could take on the form of something beautiful. Golden, glowing and godlike, before revealing its horrific, grotesque, organic true form. But with its return, imagine it adapting further. It no longer just mimics human forms. It can implant itself in people's minds, warping their senses, making them believe things that aren't real. Picture a modern Doctor Who story where Axos doesn't announce itself right away. It doesn't crash land in a golden ship this time. It infects. It starts as a whisper, a suggestion, an idea planted into people's heads. At first it seems like a scientific miracle. Energy appearing from nowhere, an infinite power source, something too good to be true. And of course, it is too good to be true. Because the moment people begin relying on it, Axos begins absorbing them, binding them to its will. The Doctor arrives, sensing something is off, but by the time they realize what's happening, it's already too late. The planet isn't just under attack, it's becoming Axos. The energy it provides isn't a gift, it's a symbiosis, a slow conversion of everything it touches into part of itself. The tension would come from the Doctor racing against time, not to simply defeat Axos, but to prevent it from achieving its ultimate goal. Because if Axos ever regains access to time travel, if it ever learns how to spread beyond one fixed moment in time, it wouldn't just be another alien invasion, it would be an unstoppable, never-ending feast. This is how you bring back a classic villain properly, not just as a throwaway reference, not as a blink and you'll miss it nostalgia grab, but as a true evolution of what made it terrifying in the first place. Axos should return as a lurking, creeping horror, something that doesn't just threaten to invade Earth, but threatens to rewrite the very fabric of reality, twisting people's perceptions until they can no longer tell what's real and what's Axos. And yet, here we are. Instead of bringing back a villain with actual potential, we'll probably get more tired retreads of Daleks, Cybermen, and whatever nonsensical new creation RTD pulls out of his hat this time. But that's modern Doctor Who for you, always chasing spectacle, never understanding true terror. Anyway, that's another forgotten villain down, and plenty more to go. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell like the video and leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.